Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am once again building Boba Fett. What I thought I'd do today is run through one of the applications that we need to do to finish the Boba Fett. But even when we've got parts all painted and everything's in hand, there's still quite a bit of time needed to pull this whole thing together. Now, one thing I will say is, even though the armour's painted and that's fine and I'm going to work with it, I would probably recommend that you do all of this mounting if you're going to use this application to mount your armour before you paint it. So today what we're going to look at is how the armour and the vest come together into one piece. And we're going to use the screen accurate mounting method. So we're not going to use Velcro and we're not going to use snaps or any of that kind of stuff. We are going screen accurate, baby. Here we have the vest. What we're actually trying to achieve today, if I ever scan through it fell open right on the page. Is that a little bit like, you know, when you was a kid and you had your mum's catalogue and it'd fall open on a certain page? Huh? Is that like that? Fell open on the Boba Fett page. Anyway, here we go. So this is what we're looking at, this mounting system using the eyelets. And one of the things to note is, I always find it fascinating that there's 24 eyelets and the packet comes with 24 in. Coincidence? Right, so before we start banging away and getting these, getting the holes made and getting the eyelets fitted, what we need to do is we need to decide where the armour's going to sit on the vest and when it's on your body. So I use one of these mannequin things, just the cheapo eBay type mannequin doodah, and it just gives it some shape so I can start attaching the armour. I have a template set of armour, but obviously you're not going to do. So if you just stick the armour on in place, use tailor's chalk to mark out where it is, or tape. There's loads of different ways that you can do that. So I'm going to stick some magnets on to hold this in place, just so I can get it spaced out and then mark where I want everything to sit. Again, you don't need to use magnets, I just find it easier. You can just use masking tape, or I don't know what. I use magnets. Just because we've got them lying around and it's quick and easy. One thing to note, the armour is not symmetrical, so you've really just got to eyeball it. I wouldn't even try measuring it and messing about like that. Just get it on, get it all buttered up to each other. Basically, you need to look at, if you're going 501st route, you need to look at reference pictures and you need to try and get your spacings to match the reference pictures that they've decided that they're using this week. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal. If you're going Return of the Jedi, it's going to be pretty closely knitted together. If you're a big guy, this is going to cause you problems because you're going to end up with, and I think spacing out a little bit more looks better, but some people seem to think that having it all the armour really tight in the middle and then loads of space all the way around it looks better. I don't know why. Some weird ideas, but there you go. Basically, you just need to look at your reference and get it as close as possible to whichever movie version that you are doing, or well, whatever version you are doing, I should say. They're not all Not all Fett versions were used in movies. You can do your own thing. One of the pre-production ones. Right, so my gaps aren't even all the way around because the arm is not symmetrical. That's quite right. We've got a nice gap there. We've got a similar gap on that part. Right, I'm quite happy with that. This is where I'm at. Now, what I would say at this point is, this is basically working as a guide for me. This is not the finished location of these pieces, and you'll understand a little bit more about that as we get into it and the next step in the process. But for now, I'm happy with that, and I'm going to mark it. So I'm just touching this through because this particular marker, it really likes to drag the ink into the fabric. So just be warned, you may be better using a pencil. If in doubt, use a pencil. So the only ones I've not done are the ones for the shoulder bells, and they're a piece of piss, to be honest. I usually pick them up last. This is what I really want to concentrate on. Yeah, that's a nice shot for you, isn't it? So, I need a hammer. I'm borrowing Paul's Pete Sutcliffe style hammer. So if you've not used one of these before to make eyelets, basically we're going to put this underneath the fabric. This goes on top. Smash it with a hammer. We have a hole. I'll give you a couple of tips as we go through it. And I'm going to do the first one, which is right on the edge, and it's really simple to do. There you go. We have one hole just here. What I will do is recommend that you just clean that bit of fabric out of there, because on the next hole that's going to be a problem. There we go. The other thing that I usually do, while I've got everything all set up on this, I go straight to putting the eyelet in. So that one sits in the plastic holder. In the pack there are two different styles of eyelet. So one is quite a flat piece, and one has got this trunk on it, and they slip over, and then the trunk gets formed down over the other piece, which is what we're going to do now. So there you can see the raised trunk sticking up, and basically we are going to close that. And that is our eyelet, beautifully positioned into the vest. Now all we need to do is repeat this 23 more times. I'm not going to bore you with whacking them in. If you just watch this, we've seen this one go in, which is dead simple because the reach on this will allow it. However, this one up here, say, for example, this doesn't reach, so how am I going to get to that? So what I'll do is I'll show you that, and then you can use a little ingenuity to make it happen. There's two ways. First way is quite boring. So here we are, we've rolled it all up, and we're at that centre point. Okay. So I'll show you sticking one in here, and then what I'll do is I'll show you another way. We're going to create the hole right in the centre. This is, in theory, the most difficult area to reach with this tool that they provide. It's on the floor. There you go. She's there. Hole right in the centre. So obviously all of these are doable in the exact same way. If you need to, you can access from the side here, or you can, if you really needed to, you can go through the buttonhole there to get up to one of these, maybe like so. Yeah, so that's not a problem. You can also come in through anywhere that'll allow you to reach it, and then if you can't reach it by these means, then the other thing you can do is cut this in half and just put one in, put one over the top, line them up, try and hold them both steady, smash a hole in. I'm not going to do that now because I don't really need to do that. I've got more of these than I will ever need, so I usually just use a full thing and don't cut it in half. But that's the other way to achieve it with these tools. So it's just a case of ripping through the whole vest. As you're bunching it up, sometimes some of these holes are not going to be perfectly aligned, but I really wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure they're not on the original costume either. And there you have it. We have all of our holes in place, patterned out, ready to take the armour. As you can see, I'll just mirror these up so you get an idea which ones go where. Now on the next phase we've still got a little bit of movement, as you can see. So join me next time when I show you attaching the fixings that we're going to use to go through the eyelets. This has been Building Boba Fett, and you've been watching. I've got no catchphrase to end on.